Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars and welcome to the final top 10 list of 2024, and today I'm taking a look at what are, in my opinion, the worst films of this year. It has been a great year for great films, and there is a top 10 list on the channel that celebrates the best films of 2024. This one, however, is the direct opposite of that. There's also been some real stinkers this year, and this list takes a look at what I believe are some really poor films. There's a mix here of cinema releases, Netflix films. There's also like lower budget films that you may well not have even heard of, and after watching this list, hopefully you'll certainly never watch. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the list, and thank you very much for joining me.
And if you go hunting for it, you'd better take any help you can get.
Right, coming in at number 10 on the list, I've put Borderlands. Now, the reason why it's at number 10 on the list, because I suspect this will be probably higher up on many other people's top 10 lists, is I didn't hate the film or anything like that. It just was so forgettable and so in touch with the game and its humour. If you really want to see a game that's real, or some media that's really nailed the humour in Borderlands, look for the Telltale Borderlands game, Tales from the Borderlands. It's hilarious. This film isn't. It is pretty much a dumpster fire from beginning to end, but there are also a couple of entertaining bits in it as well. So, let's say, while I don't despise or hate the film, it is so far removed from what you want from a Borderlands film that I have absolutely no doubt why it is so disliked by many, many people.
I tried to be a good Christian. Now get out of my house! Forgive me for what I'm about to do.
Right, coming in at number 9 on the list is a film that was a fairly recent release, and I did review this on the channel, and every one of these films I have reviewed on the channel. And it's a film called Crazy House, and I didn't get this film at all. I could not wrap my head around what the point of it was, why it existed, and who was it aimed at. It's such a bizarre film. It's like this sitcom family that suddenly turns it on its head and tries to be all, violent and bloody and, controversial. And it's just a bizarre, nondescript film that I just didn't understand and I didn't get. And I suspect the low scores that I'm seeing for the film online and stuff, many other people feel the same. Very odd film, very strange film, and I just didn't enjoy it.
This planet is unstable and inhospitable.
Atlas, my name is Smith.
Is that really necessary? You're a computer program.
I'm driving through LA out in Barcelona. No, I'm not.
No? What are you then?
I am a computer.
Coming up at number 8 on the list is the Netflix film Atlas, the Jennifer Lopez film that had a really cool concept, huge mechs being controlled by humans, big battles and all this kind of stuff. Unfortunately, for the majority of the film, you get Jennifer Lopez with some terrible acting arguing with a computer screen about, the fact that it's just a computer and all this. It's just so annoying and frustrating. And there's a film in here somewhere that could have been cool, and then they decided to cast Jennifer Lopez. Now, I don't have a huge issue with Jennifer Lopez. I like Shall We Dance? That's quite a nice, pleasant film. I like Out of Sight. That's a great film. This is a very, very poor film, and it's almost unbearable to watch at times.
Something really bad starts tonight. How do you know that?
You can't stop this. You could create a ripple effect that could be devastating.
Now, coming in at number 7 on the list is another Netflix film, Time Cut. Just what we wanted, another time-traveling serial killer film. No, nobody was asking for this at all, and what they gave us was a really uninspired take on it, to one of the most uninspired periods of time, 2003. Ooh, look, mobile phones have just been invented. Ooh, look, some of the fashions look so different. No, they don't. And we've got, as a central character, one of the most self-centered, selfish, frustrating and dislikable characters that I really... I couldn't believe how terrible she was. There's very little to recommend about this film. There are far better films out there to watch than this, if that's the sort of thing you want to watch. This one is not worth your time, and I wished I hadn't wasted my time on it, actually.
Who the hell are you? I know your husband was working on the O2 generator. I need to replicate it.
If she could replicate Dad's invention, he could be onto something big, Ma.
Now, coming in at number 6 on the list is Breathe. Jennifer Hudson, Milo Jovovich, sci-fi film set in the future where the Earth is pretty much uninhabitable. You have to walk around with breathing apparatus. You know, you've got to have like oxygen generators, and essentially this is like the dullest remake of Panic Room ever. Because you've got Jennifer Hudson and her daughter inside a building with like a revolutionary oxygen making machine, and then you've got Mila Jovovich's character and the others on the outside, the villains, if you like, wanting to get in and get that piece of technology. That's it. Add in some really terrible acting, some atrocious dialogue, and you've got one of the dullest experiences of 2024. I really, really disliked this film.
Yes, Jim. This nearby base was running tests.
Where's Faction 13 now?
Captain Rupert hasn't responded in a week.
Now, coming in right at the middle of the list at number 5 is Agent Recon. Now, this one broke my heart a little bit because it's got Chuck Norris in it and Mark Singer. Now, Chuck Norris is definitely one of my heroes. I adored him growing up. He's done some classic films over the years, classic B-movies, and I was quietly hopeful that this was going to be a B-movie heaven sort of thing, and unfortunately it's more like B-movie hell. Chuck Norris, whatever acting ability he had, which I know was quite limited, I suppose, it's definitely decided to leave him now, and it's so hurtful and disappointing, if you like, to see him in a film as poor as this. There's nothing in this film to recommend, really. It's just a B-movie action film. And the novelty is it's got Chuck Norris in it, even though he's not in it a great deal. Oh, yeah, very, very sad.
I don't want to alarm you. Do you remember a TV show we used to watch together? It was called
The Big O Big?
Yeah.
Now, coming in at number 4 on the list is a film called I Saw the TV Glow. I wanted to watch this one because it was getting some decent reviews online by these so-called film reviewers or critics, and some of them were singing its praises. And then I watched it, and it was absolute garbage. Dull, uninspired, poor characters. It was all art, no substance. It was one of those films, really, that wants you to interpret this, that, and the other. And it's got lots of purple lighting and lots of drawn-out long shots of people turning their heads and walking down corridors. Completely nondescript, completely pointless. Doesn't know what kind of film it wants to be, and I just found the whole thing completely and utterly dull. Really, really poor film, in my opinion.
We have to cross the valley of the mountain on the far side.
Take out that car.
What is that?
All right, coming in at number 3 is Road War's Max Fury. Now, this is an asylum film. Okay, I don't need to say anymore, do I, really? I do? Right, okay, yes. This is a rip-off of, well, Furiosa obviously came out this year, great film. This is a rip-off of that and the Mad Max films, and it's even got Vernon Wells in it. That's enough to kind of get you interested into it. And then you watch the film and realise it's absolute tosh. Really bad film in every way. There isn't really any car chases. The characters are terrible, the dialogue's terrible, the effects are terrible, and generally speaking, it's all terrible. Of course it is. It's an asylum film. Need I say more?
Look, I have no clue what happened to them.
Have you seen
Somebody wiped all the CCTV footage.
you want to see?
Coming in at number 2 on the list is The Mousetrap, the Mickey Mouse horror film that we got this year, unfortunately. And we're going to have to suffer films like this for the near future because of, things like Winnie the Pooh, the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey films. A lot of these characters now are they're free for these so-called filmmakers to go out there and take a big old dump all over our childhood memories. There's a Bambi one coming. There's all sorts coming out, and this one this year was their attempt to do a Mickey Mouse horror. It is abysmal in almost every way and makes absolute zero sense, and above all else is just so poorly made with some really shocking acting. Truly a horrifically bad film. Thankfully, hopefully we won't get any more Mickey Mouse ones, but I'm sure there's probably someone out there making one right now, and a Bluto one, and a Donald Duck one, and probably many, many more, unfortunately. God help us all.
Emergency, get off the train.
That man's trying to kill you.
What?
Who are you? What is going on? I can see the future.
Oh,
What the hell? She didn't see that coming? That's not how it works.
Oh boy, and coming in at number 1, easily my least favourite film of the year, Madam Web. Probably my least favourite comic book movie ever. It should never have been made into a film. It's a very obscure character, and it never bodes well when your main star of a film is actively making fun of it in interviews trying to promote it. Really poor acting, and I do actually like Dakota Johnson. Number 1, I think she's gorgeous, and number 2, I've seen her in things where she's great. She just clearly didn't want to be in this film, and it's completely evident. It's just so bad. The story's absolutely terrible, and I cannot believe that people sat down round a table, looked at this script, came up with this idea, and basically said, yes, let's make this because I think this is going to be a successful film for us. They need their heads examining. Truly terrible film. And I would imagine it's going to be quite high up, if not number 1 on many people's lists this year. So thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you've enjoyed my end of year top 10 lists. Let me know in the comments what your least favourite films are of the year. And don't forget to join me in 2025 for plenty more content to come. Thanks very much for your support, guys.